Hello everyone. Well, here I am in Tokyo, in the Hilton Tokyo, and I'm with Leo Frankel and Richard Johns. Leo is the commercial director here at the hotel, and obviously you guys know Richard is our country manager. And I'm standing in a green screen studio, although the backdrop you see is superimposed. We have recently finished this green screen here for the hotel, and also another flagship project in the ballroom. And I thought it would be interesting for us to find out how we ended up realizing this project and executing it. And so the two best people to let us know how we did this are standing here with me today. So first of all, I just want to ask Rich, how did you come up with the concept for delivering a green screen type solution?
Well, before the pandemic hit, we ran an idea contest, and we try to do them reasonably regularly, but they're a little bit ad hoc. But we ran an idea contest with all our staff and had some nice prizes to motivate people to actually, get some good responses. And one of the ideas was to actually build a greenback studio. Although at the time we didn't have any space and we didn't have the funds to do it, so it was kind of pie in the sky kind of thing. It was like, well, at some point, yeah, that's actually pretty good idea.
So this is a competition that you ran with our team?
Yeah, internally in Vega Japan, yes.
Excellent.
So yeah, we had a lot of other good ideas that some of them also came to fruition, but this one was always in the back of my mind. And then when COVID-19 hit, it was like we lost the use of one of our spaces essentially because it was underutilized. Is probably the best way to put it.
So then we had the opportunity to build.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, okay, I thought we got to get rid of this space because we're paying rent every month. So, and then we revisited that idea, and that was actually from Jimmy, who he's in charge of our new media department here and runs the studio team. But yeah, I mean, we looked at that idea again and thought, yeah, I mean, instead of getting rid of that space, why don't we convert it and see how we go? And it ended up becoming a reality. And it took about, probably 6 months or so to actually build out properly. We had a custom truss system similar to this, but on a much smaller scale. And then similar equipment, but a lot, I guess...
cost effective?
Cost effective is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and started to use it?
That's how it came about.
And we started to use the...
And we started to use it. We had a few customers come in and use it for, their internal, video production because they wanted high quality content, to use internally or to push out to third parties.
So, Leo, how did you find out about Vega and the facilities? Right?
Obviously, yeah, COVID hit, had a big impact to us, to our meeting business, and we were similar brainstorming, coming up with ideas of how we can repurpose some of our meeting space. And at one point we had a golf driving range in some of the rooms. We had all sorts just to generate some kind of revenue. And green screen studios was obviously quite popular. They were popping up in many other countries, and you were seeing these launched. And I happened to be reading, or actually on the British Chamber Facebook page, I saw a Feature Friday. And they were showing this screen, the studio that you'd built originally, and I was like, this is what we want.
Interesting.
So yeah, we got in touch with Richard and the team. One of my colleagues went down and had a look, came back, said, yeah, this is great, this is what we want. And so I invited Richard over in the team, and we had a look at a couple of spaces. And fortuitously, the space we're in now used to be the old wedding photo studio, and the company decided to move out. So we saw this as a perfect space to build this fantastic facility, and
I mean, size-wise, it seems to work very well.
Yeah, it's perfect, right? And so from that initial conversation, we all started getting quite excited quite quickly, actually. I think this was only back in sort of March time we started really talking about this, and to have this now is
moved quite quickly.
It's fantastic.
So originally you found out about us through the chamber engagement, right?
Yep.
Which is, from our team, I've always been saying to our guys, we've got to make sure we engage with the community through networking channels, and the chambers of commerce are a fantastic mode for that. So, this is proof of the pudding.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. But also, the project evolved not just for a green screen, but as I alluded to earlier, we've got the facility in the ballroom, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been dreaming of having an LED wall up in the ballroom, and for forever. We had a traditional screen and projector, and just one. And companies were continuously coming in, building in double-sided back projection, or even building LED walls, and we were like, Jesus, we really need something of our own. And one day we were up in the ballroom, I think, talking about your event. You were having an internal sales event in March. And we were like, oh yeah, I'd love an LED wall, and you were like, let me think about that.
Yeah. Well, at the time I was like, nah, not happening. But yeah.
Well, there's many challenges around putting in.
There were a lot of challenges.
These types of facilities in a relatively old facility. I mean, it's a beautiful facility, but it's obviously got some history behind it. So, I mean, there was probably some challenges in.
Yeah, definitely. It was, the building first opened in 1984. So, it's a traditional old, it is an older building in Tokyo. So to put that in, originally, I wasn't aware of some of the challenges. And we had, quite a few issues with power. Had to put some additional transformers in where we'd run all the cabling throughout the hotel. But thanks to the Vega team and the project management team, we managed to work through all of that. And Japan's not an easy place to make a big change like this. And there was a lot of people were hesitant or reluctant. But we saw the value, and I think as you see from the pictures and what it's looking like, it's an absolute game changer for us.
Yeah. So Rich, tell us a bit more about how the team, what some of the challenges from our perspective that they had to get over in order to realize this, and some of the technology that we've used.
Obviously with the green screen studio, there were a lot of issues with the timelines because of the product. Because of chip supply issues, obviously. And we're actually still waiting on a few things to come. So that was one of the major issues. With the LED wall, there were a lot of issues that we didn't realise at the time because we'd never done it before, obviously, so a lot of things came up. One of them was actually the timing as well, because we were looking at the schedule, and obviously for the hotel, every day that they're not using it, they're losing money. Yeah. And to us, it didn't mean anything, right? I was like, I'm sure we can get it for 2 weeks. Say, Leo, we need it for 2 weeks. He's like, no.
We need it now. Yeah.
So I think, making sure we had enough time to actually, one, get the product in, and then actually install it, and test it. And basically the day after it was in and tested, we had to use it for an event. So there was a lot of pressure to actually get it up and running quickly.
We probably should give a plug to Barco as well.
They
did come to the
Barco
party.
did an amazing job there because, I was wondering how they were actually going to get it in time. So they had to pull product from a lot of different, locations, I think, to get that.
And I think from my perspective, obviously seeing it, having seen it on the photographs that you'd been sending me as it was growing, until I actually saw it in real life, I really didn't appreciate the gravity that it has in the room.
Yeah.
And when it is on, it is immaculate. Like, it really is. It makes such a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And clients, before they would just bring a laptop and put it in, and the feedback we're getting already, and clients are suddenly wanting to do things much more than they would ever imagine. And it's crazy. This no one has this in Tokyo. Everyone thinks Tokyo is a super technological city, but on the LED and the AV, it's lagging behind. Certainly Hong Kong, Singapore, these kind of countries. So it's a game changer for the industry. And for us, the revenue model is great, right? And I think we're well on way to smashing some of our targets that we set because the feedback's been amazing.
Yeah, this is, actually, maybe, Rich, you can give us a little bit more insights into how that works.
When we came up with the concept, the hotel was more aligned to a revenue share model, and we'd never done that before. Yeah. So for us, it was new, but, we did some calculations and thought, this could possibly work. Obviously there's a lot of risk on our side because we have to make the initial investment in time and resources, but
and risk on the hotel side. They've got to change the functionality of some of their spaces.
They had to rip out the wedding stairs here. We actually had stairs here for weddings, and so I think for the old guard here it was a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, definitely. As I said earlier, like change management, people are used to what they're used to and don't like to change. And I think if you ever show it, we actually have a grey curtain that can go around the green curtain just for wedding photos, because even though it's exactly the same quality of the photo of the end product, the older generation won't accept doing a photo in a green area, which is crazy. So but no, the hotels are suffering. We've had a rough couple of couple of years. CapEx is hard to find, an investment from owners and from the hotel, but this model was fantastic, and we're super pleased to have partnered with you on this. And I don't think there would be many other people that would do it. And the value, I think that it's going to return much quicker than we anticipated. It's a great model to work on.
And obviously meeting some of the other Hilton hotel.
Everyone wants a wall now.
They're all a bit jealous now.
Very jealous, right?
Which is kind of interesting. So I think there's further opportunities for us to replicate some of this stuff in other places. Right?
And one other unique aspect of this studio is we have really high quality audio system here. I mean, the audio equipment we have in here is top notch.
That's a really important point, actually.
A lot of studios overlook that when they actually do the design.
Yeah.
But we've made sure we've got the video and the audio covered, and we also have content creation capability. So
that's the huge bit. Having the content team on site, us able to sell to a client. So the event agencies are not as strong as probably somewhere like Singapore, where there's millions of the event agencies, and here they're very traditional. They're very expensive. They love a markup. But having an in-house creative team that we can create stuff for the client straight away, very cost effective, still great revenue, is huge, and we're winning business because of that.
Yeah, actually, Rich, maybe you can just give a bit of a plug to the team that we've got that have helped realise.
Yeah,
obviously led by Jimmy, but
has been an awesome effort. Obviously, the whole thing started with the idea contest and the concept from Jimmy. So he's done an awesome job in helping pull this all together. And Brittany's been amazing, and she's phenomenal in terms of the way she can quickly create 3D content and really bring things to life. We also have others on the team who have just joined recently. So
all putting in the effort, right?
Yeah, and we've got a few Nicks and and Sunshine, and we also have Bridget on the sales team as well, and
so that's actually another important point, how we're actually selling the service, because it's a collaborative sell with the Hilton guys, right? So your sales team and our sales team working together. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's a bit of a learning curve for the team, and having that in, but having the in-house guys is great. I think we were probably both caught unaware of how quickly we were going to need people, and how many times, I think, what we've been open just over a month, and we probably used the screen 12, 15 times for events already in just the 1 month. And then our forward booking for the next few months is looking great. I think it'll probably be close to 90 usages or 90 days rental of the screen by the time we hit the end of the year, which is great.
Getting a lot of traction. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, well done. And thanks very much. Thank you, obviously, for the partnership with you. I think this has been, a really great journey for us, and kind of proving that, when you start thinking outside the box, these things can be realised. And I think there's going to be hopefully more of this in Japan, but also, from a Vegas perspective, we can translate this to some of the other cities that we operate in.
An absolute pleasure, and thank you. There's no way we would have been able to do this ourselves and put that kind of level of capex in. And it's a real game changer for Tokyo, for the MICE industry, and definitely for our hotel. So a big thank you from all of us at Hilton Tokyo.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and I'll see you soon.